Good morning, students. Today we'll discuss functions in C++. What is function? A function is a self-contained block of code which is used to perform a particular task. That means a function is a piece of code or a function is a module which is used to perform a particular task. Here block is nothing but the collection of statements which are enclosed within the opening and closing braces is called function. So that means a function is a self-contained block of code, or a function is a module, or a function is a piece of code which is used to perform a particular task, that is called function. Next, what is the need of functions in programming language? So there are basically three advantages while using function. One is reusability, readability and modularity. That means we can avoid the code repetition as many number of times. That means you can define once and you can use as many number of times. That comes to code reusability. And the second one, it will increase the program readability. That means it is easy to understand the program which is written in the form of functions. And the next one, modularity is nothing but the complex programs are divided into small ones. That means the entire program is divided into a piece of code, and that piece of code is called as a module. And the next one advantage is it is easy to debug is nothing but finding the errors and correcting the errors. If you have written the program in the form of function, it is very easy to debug. That means it is very easy to correct the error or finding the error. So these are the needs of function. That means code reusability, code readability, modularity and debugging are the advantages of functions. Next we'll discuss the types of function. There are two types of functions: predefined functions and user defined functions. Predefined functions are also called as a system library functions, nothing but which is already defined by the system. And user defined functions are called as per the user requirement. They can define different type of functions. First we'll complete the predefined function. What is predefined function? These functions are defined by the system libraries, and here this predefined function doesn't containing of a function definition. It contain only function call. That means the function task, whatever the function should be performed, the task is already known by the compiler. Just we need to call the function name. That's it. You can see the following example: CLR is here. So this function is used to clear the screen. That is identified by the compiler. How these can be identified? Why? Because CLR SCR is a clear screen and it is an input and output function. So every function is represented by the parenthesis. Whenever you are written the parenthesis, automatically it is indicated as a function. And whenever you are indicated with the semicolon, this semicolon is indicated function call. Just you need to execute the function. There is no need to defining the function. So who define these function definitions? The compiler will identify the function definition from the system libraries. And whenever you are working with the predefined function, you must know, you must write the function which related to the header file. That means what are the supported files to execute these functions, like clrscr get ch. clrscr and get ch comes under input and output streams. So that's why you can write iostream.h and conio.h. Whenever you are working with the string length, so strlen is a string length function which comes under string. So you need to write hash include string.h. In the same way, that means all the predefined functions are comes under system library heading files. So whenever you are working with the predefined functions, you must include the supported header files like clrscr, getch, printf, scanf. These all comes under input and output header files that should be written with the help of iostream.h, conio.h, stdio.h. When coming to the string length, string upper, string lower, whenever you are writing these type of function, these comes under string function. So you must include hash include string dot h. Whenever you are working with the square root, power of, this all comes under mathematical function. Whenever you are using the mathematical functions, then you must include math dot h as a header file. And whenever you are working is alpha, is number, is digit, these type of functions are comes under character type, then you must include c type dot h as a header file. And next we'll discuss about user defined functions. So what are user defined functions? So these are the functions which is defined by the user, and user defined function contain totally three basic elements, that are function declaration, function call, and function definition. But predefined functions contain only function call, and function declaration, function definition is already known by the compiler. But in user defined function, it must be declared, and it must be called, and it must be defined by the user. Now we'll discuss one by one what is function declaration, what is function call, and what is function definition. Function declaration. So as the name suggesting, whenever you need to use any function, it must be declared first. So function declaration contain totally four elements, that is what is the return type, what is the name of the function, and what are the arguments, and terminator. Here semicolon is called as a terminator. Here return type may be include integer or void. That means whenever you are working with any function, every function should return some value. The return value is always, that is the default return value is integer. Other than, you can define either it may be float return, either it may be character type, either it may be void type. So any type of return type value you can use by using function. So that can be identified by return type. That means you are returning anything, so you can write by default return type is integer. If you're not returning anything, that means the function doesn't contain of any return type, then you can use void. So function name, I am using one function called sum, or you can write add, whatever it may be. This is called as an identifier. You can identify the name of the function. And here arguments. So arguments are containing with the data type argument value, comma data type argument value. This comes under list of elements or list of arguments which related to that particular function. For example, I need to add two numbers, then I can give sum of integer x comma integer y. So here integer representing data type and x is representing the argument. And semicolon is whenever you are writing semicolon at the end of the function, then it is treated as a function declaration. Like I have given integer sum or void sum, or integer sum integer comma integer, or void sum of integer comma integer. Here it's containing with argument and without argument. Now we have to know, sir, what is argument? So argument is nothing but that any value you are passing to the function to perform the particular task, that called as an arguments. There are two types of arguments. One is actual argument, another one is formal arguments. So what is actual, what is formal? The formal arguments are represented in the function declaration and function definition. The actual values are nothing but the original values, the values which are used in the function call. That we'll discuss in the programming what is actual function, what is formal function arguments. Now coming to the function call. What is function call? The function call is nothing but executing of the function by or invoking the function by making a call. So function call contain the same syntax as function declaration, like return type, function name, argument, list. And here you may not represent the what type of data type. Why? Because function call is always written in another function. Every function is called by another function. So here you can see I have written return type, like previously we written integer type, or it may be void type, and here I have written some a comma b. Now a comma b are the arguments of the function. So here a comma b are which are written in the function call. Now a comma b are called actual arguments or actual parameters. Now when coming to the function definition, what is function definition? Function definition is nothing but we are defining what type of action that can be performed through that function. And function definition is similar to function declaration. Like you can see return type, function name, data type and arguments, comma data type and arguments, like so on. But here there is no need to inserting terminator. If you put terminator, it comes under function declaration or function call. But now you are defining what should be done with this function, that is the action part can be written in opening and closing braces. So this is regarding about function declaration, function call and function definition. And here we should learn one more thing is return type. What is return type? That means every function will return some value, and that can be written by one keyword is called return. Just you can use return 0. Now it will return 0 value, or return a plus b, it will return a plus b value. So you can see here I given an example, void sum of integer a comma integer b and return a plus b. Here this is called as an a return value a plus b, you are returning the value, and integer a comma integer b, and these two a comma b are called as an a parameter. What type of parameters? These are called reference parameters or formal parameters, which are defined in the function definition. Now here we can explain the types of user defined function. There are totally 4 types of user defined function.